Good morning, Card Beaters. RJ. I'm back with another video. Let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day. Two cards that look pretty much the same, and you wouldn't know any difference unless you were an insane super collector like me. These are the 1994, I believe, Diamond Kings from Donruss, and the only difference really is in the copyright or the listing of who produced them. It's the artist is from the Perez Steel Gallery. Do note that it's spelled Steel as far as steel is concerned. That is the way any normal person would spell the name of the metal, but the way the artist spells his name is actually with an added E at the end, Perez Steel. These cards are similar to the 82, I think it was Fleer um, Lee Smith card with the Cubs logo that's inverted on some of the cards. They made so many of them in both variations. There's no real premium on either. That's the same way these cards are. There's really no premium to either version, although the correct version is harder to find, but there's really no premium in the price. Just showing off that for everybody. Also, my random baseball item of the day. Interesting card here. 1995 Leaf, a little bit of gold foil. It is a subset, or I should say an insert set, called Great Gloves. Interesting because you don't normally think about Wade Boggs as being a great glove. He actually did, though, win a gold glove after he had switched over to the Yankees one year. He was able to win a gold glove. So you can kind of suggest he has a gold glove, a great glove to his name, but I don't know about that. I figured I'd just show off this card where someone's touting Wade Boggs as having a great glove. Today's trivia question. Cool prize. It's all about the Donruss cards today, as you can see. These are the prize for you. 5 great Hall of Fame players. 4 and an almost Hall of Fame player. 2002 Donruss Tom Glavine. 2002 Donruss Jim Thome. Dropped one. 2003 Donruss Jeff Bagwell. Donruss Elite, the Craftsman, Scott Rowland, number to 3,500. This is from 1998. Donruss. And then lastly, a Diamond Kings card from 2003 Donruss of Alex Rodriguez. So 5 cards, 4 definite Hall of Famers because they're all in, and 1 almost Hall of Famer. That is your prize if you could tell me the answer to this question. A lot of people know that Ted Williams hit 406 in 1941, and many people know the story. He was at a particular average on the last day of the season before the last game was played that would have rounded up to 400, and he would have been able to claim a 400 batting average, but he did not want to get it through cheating or through nefarious means. So he, said, "No, I'm going to play so that these guys will know I am a 400 hitter." He went 6 for 8 that day and raised his batting average to 406. What was his batting average on that last day before the game was played, but taken to 4 decimal places rather than just 3, which would have been 400? What would it have listed at if you take it to 4 decimal places? Ted Williams' average prior to the last game of the 1941 season, what was his batting average? All right. Email me the correct answer. My email will be in the description below, along with a repeat of the question. You will have today and tomorrow to answer that question. And if you are successful, we'll pick a winner on Sunday, and you'll win those 5 great Donruss cards. All right. Today, my set that I want to go over with you is, in fact, a Donruss product. It is the 1992 Donruss set. Now, 1992 is interesting for a number of reasons for Donruss. It is the first year that they went to a much more modern card stock. Donruss and Fleer began doing white cardboard The moment they came out, Topps maintained the brown cardboard up through the 1991 offering, and then they switched to the white cardboard stock. Donruss and Fleer began their releases with the white cardboard stock, but it was much more of a paper style thing. Donruss went upper deck like in 1992, probably because of Upper Deck and the splash they were making. This is your standard 1992 Upper Deck card. I like the design. It was very simplistic. Just said 1992 Donruss up top, player name, team, and position at the bottom. No other flair, nothing special. Donruss always pretty much had their name and a year on the card front, which I thought was really helpful all the time, because a lot of times if you look, the copyright date is deceiving. The copyright date 1991 Leaf Inc. Because a lot of times these cards are printed in the winter of the year coming, because they want to get it on shelves in like January and February prior to the baseball season, and in order to print, distribute, stock the shelves, and get it ready for first day of sale, there's a lot to it. So they're making them the year before typically, and then they get them out on the store shelves. And a lot of times the copyright date reflected that, and could lead to confusion for collectors. Anyway, I chose this as my basic design because it's Kirk Gibson, but on the Royals. You didn't see, you're not used to seeing Kirk Gibson on the Royals, but he did play with them, that team towards the end of his career. Certainly after the Dodgers, his stay with the Dodgers, he jumped to the Royals. Now, card back is simple. The number up here, bio information right there. Nice headshot. The location of the headshot could switch. Some career highlights over here, contract status. And then, as Donruss is wont to do, it is recent major league performance. It was not his full career, but they list about 5 years because he didn't think it was necessary to put full career stats. I'm a collector who loves full career stats and despises any card that doesn't have full career stats. I am less than thrilled with. They may look wonderful, but without the career stats on the back, they're not good enough for me. Typical with Donruss as well. Donruss produced multiple printings of their cards. Those that went to factory sets, those that went to regular packs, those that went to rack packs, a lot of different styles of release. So unfortunately, like a lot of other Donruss product, this one had variations in the ink thing, the dot after the letters INC and ink. This one has it, but there's a card. Every card was printed in some runs without the dot at the end of the INC. There's no premium at all for that, but if you're a master collector, you may look at this as only half a set, because you might want all the ones that have the dot after the INC. I am not that crazy. So, what did you get in a set of Donruss from 1982? Well, the full set was 784 cards, and numbered sequentially, obviously 1 through that. What did you get? There was your standard checklist cards, okay, basic checklist like you always see, randomly inserted in there. There were a number of insert sets. We'll get to that in a second. Basic subsets for Topps, for Donruss. Your rated rookies, 2 bigger ones. In the National League, you had Kenny Lofton. In the American League, Jim Thome. Those were 2 of your subsets within the run. Another one would have been your All-Stars. Where'd my other one go? 2. Can't find the one. Oh, no. Oh, Lord. Oh, well, I'll just show you what I got. Okay. You had your American and National League All-Stars. There is your your Cal Ripken American League All-Stars. There also were National League All-Stars. That's the card I just can't seem to find right now. A National League All-Star example, which I did pull, but has wandered off somewhere. So anyway, So really, those are your most of your subsets, randomly inserted, not inserted, I should say, but randomly throughout the set. You would also find highlights. Now, 1991 was the year of the no hitter. There were like 11 no hitters or something crazy that year. So I'll highlight my Tommy Green no hitter 1991 with the Phillies. Talked a little bit about the no hitter he threw. I think he walked like 7 people that day, but he still had a no hitter. And then this is kind of a cool card. These two individuals coming up on the Rangers together, Gossage and Ryan. I don't believe they ended that with 308 wins, 308 saves. Must have been like one particular day that happened. There you go. There's a thing. Gossage got Jack Clark. The victory was the 308th for Ryan. Coincidentally, the save for Gossage was also number 308. So 300 on Nolan Ryan's 308th win was also Goose Gossage's 308th save. I thought that was a really cool stat, and this was just a really cool picture of these two Hall of Fame legends happening to appear on the same team at the same time and make it onto that card. So I thought that was kind of cool. Some of the cooler images I want to show off to you that were in the card set. Have here a card of Kurt Manwaring. It was this back in the early 90s is when they started doing a lot of these retro uniforms. So Manwaring was with the San Francisco Giants at the time, but they were flashback to the New York Giant days, and he has that little those throwback uniform on. That was really the start of all the throwback uniforms we would see even to this day. Even the Phillies, a dozen times a year use the powder blues today. Then some cool action shots. I mean, Upper Deck really had the best action shots at the time. Stadium Club really went to action, but Donruss started to put out some cool ones. Nice head first slide on the Ricky. That was pretty. Greg Gagne making a nice throw while being taken out by some member of the Yankees, it does look like. Same thing with Walt Weiss. And here's an interesting card. It looks like Willie's being called safe by the umpire. Willie McGee being called safe. He was in there, the Cardinal guy trying to tag him, but the umpire's right on top of it, and Willie made it in. So Willie McGee stealing the base. Those are some of the better action photos. Again, Donruss was not a high-end product, so you didn't get fantastico action shots. Interesting variation in the card format for this rookie of John Vanderwall. Every card has all capital names, and McGee, they lowercase the C in McGee for that reason, but John Vanderwall, the whole thing was capital at the beginning of the name, but everything else was lowercase, a standard way you might print something or type something. I don't know why. It's not a variation, so they didn't correct it. I didn't see it on any other card in the entire set. So I'm not sure why John Vanderwall got that. So if you stumble across that, do not be fooled into believing it is a variation or something that's worth noting. Now, as Donruss was still doing, 1992, Topps stopped putting gum in their cards, but Donruss was still putting puzzle pieces in their card packs. The 1992 puzzle was Rod Carew. This is the one I fully put together. I have another set of the puzzle that's still in its pieces, but Rod Carew was your puzzle insert in 92. You had a standard 26 card Diamond Kings set, but unlike most years when the Diamond Kings were the first 27 cards, 26 different teams, one player from each team, plus a checklist card numbered 27, this Diamond Kings set was numbered separately, DK 1 through 26. And again, like I was saying about the the copyright issue, these are the 1992 Donruss Diamond Kings, but the copyright date is 1991, so it can get confusing with those. Some of the other things you saw were previews. They had previews issued 1 through 12, uh, randomly inserted. Well, I guess pretty much distributed to the card assemblers, the dealers, conventions, and whatnot. But also Leaf previews. Remember, Donruss is owned by the Leaf Gum Company, and they had um, started producing Canadian versions uh, with the Leaf logo back in the 80s. But then they went into their Leaf brand as a high end brand, kind of like Tops and Stadium Club or Finest. Leaf became a spin off brand. This is a preview that you could get in the packs of 1992 Donruss Standard. You can see here it's 9 of 26. There were 26 preview cards. There were also um, a couple other things. There's a Ricky Henderson Legend Series card numbered to 7,500. There is a Cal Ripken signature card numbered to 5,000. And then also, interestingly, one of the things Donruss began doing in 1991, um, I'm trying to think back. I believe it was the Michael Jordan Upper Deck card was released in the first series of Upper Deck in 1991, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But the Michael Jordan came out. It was SP number 1. Then Upper Deck in the update set released an SP number 2. I believe that was the Ricky Henderson, Nolan Ryan no hitter and stolen base day. Then there was a BC 3, 4, 5, and 6, and they stopped. But they did that for 3 straight years, Upper Deck did. Donruss began doing the same thing with a product they called the Elite Series. Now, it first came out in 1991 with cards number 1 through 9. There were 9 cards, limited to a print run of 10,000. The 1992 Donruss release. In 1992, you might find the second print run of Elite Series, card numbers 10 through 18. And again, they were limited to a print run of 10,000, and they're still considered fairly expensive today. I mean, some of those original Elite cards can fetch $100 or more. Certainly, if you get a PSA 10 graded one, you're looking maybe at a comic card. For whatever reason, I don't know. I mean, 10,000 is a lot, but I guess it's one of those things where there's still a lot of product out there, still a lot of unopened product out there, and you never know if you might find one. So, getting them on the bay, it's going to set you back $100 if you get a popular player. A little less from some others. But as Upper Deck went for 3 years with their SP cards, Donruss went from 1991 to 1996 with this numbering system from 1 to 10, and so forth. And they ended up for 6 years doing it. And in 1997, they kept the Elite product, but they renumbered. They took the numbering back to 1. And going forward, it was never a consecutively numbered set anymore. So anyway, that is my trip down memory lane on the 1992 Donruss. Again, the first time Donruss issued cards in the more glossy stock that Upper Deck began using, and frankly, these look very much like a Topps 93 kind of card. And the set, it's interesting too, the complete set version right here in the blue case. There's another complete set variation in red. There's no difference in the cards. They're the same cards. For whatever reason, they chose red for half their sets and blue for another half. Very, no real reason, no rhyme, no whatever, but that's what they did. So I'm a fan of the card set because I like the simplicity of the design. I like the fact that they went to the more modern card stock. Could care less about the picture. The design on the back is irrelevant. I just think it's a nice card. It feels good because of the card stock. So, and it's a simple design. I like it. I just wanted to show off a set for you today. 1992 Donruss. Hope you enjoyed that trip back through memory lane. These can be had today, $20 or less, depending on where you look. Yard sale, you probably get it for $5. So if you like your sets, go for it. If you like this channel, go for it. Appreciate you looking. Please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. I really do appreciate your support as I try my best to support everybody else in this great card community. Let's keep it growing. Let's keep supporting each other. And as you're out and about, stopping by card shows, card stores in the Philly area, maybe I'll run into you. All right. Have a great day. Thanks for watching and take care.